Okay, in the chats tonight as we go through. Tonight's topic is healthy business. And I know a lot of you on this call are entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs, from all different walks of life, all different backgrounds. In fact, let's do a quick poll. If you are an entrepreneur or an aspiring entrepreneur, put 777 in the chat, just so I can gauge those of us on the call. All right, so I know who I'm talking to. Excelente, excelente, excelente. And so no matter what business you're in, no matter what industry you're in, what we're going to talk about on tonight's mindset call is having the mindset of a champion. And last week I gave you guys some books. You guys find those interesting. I did give you a list of books last week that I felt that could really help us in different avenues. And we also want to have a healthy business. How many of you know that there are companies, individuals, people that have started businesses, and for one shape or form, the business isn't healthy? And by healthy, we mean making a profit. By healthy, we mean customer service driven. By healthy, we mean giving value. How many of you have ever had to make a complaint before where a business hasn't done what it said it's going to do, or hasn't performed to the standard of what it is that you've paid for? And so a lot of the time we can assess businesses, the success of a business through what we call the profit or loss of a business, but not necessarily all the time, that is the case. Sometimes, I'll give you an example. There was a situation with a school that I used to attend when I was a teenager. And, it was a really, really good school, but due to mismanagement of the finances, they had to sell part of the building because the head teacher had mismanaged the finance. So you can have a really good business, but if you don't understand your numbers, you could still come out with a loss, right? So not necessarily sometimes it's the idea that isn't correct. It could be you have a really great idea, but the numbers need to be worked out. Or it could be that you have a really good business mindset in the sense of the numbers, profit, loss, and understanding how to, make a product and how to, make that product sustainable and make it work, but then you lack the marketing side of things. And so you have a really great product, but your product's not getting out to the market. Or you could have a really good skill set and nobody knows about it. Type in the chat a skill set that you currently have. Think about it. Maybe you're good at baking cakes. Maybe you have a gifting in advice. Maybe you're the person that people call all the time for advice and you give it away for free. Maybe you're good at babysitting. Maybe you have a skill set of cooking. You might have a skill set of, I know we've got Chigs on, personal trainer. Maybe you have a skill set of driving. Maybe you have a skill set of, I don't know, making clothes or dresses. Anybody on here have a skill set? Go ahead and just type in the chat what your skill set is. This is a chance to promote your skill set. You never know, ladies and gents, that somebody on this call may need a skill set that you currently have, right? And so each and every one of us are born with gifts and have skill sets and have things on the inside of us, but very few people actually execute those things into a business. How many of you have ever been into a Caribbean food shop or a barber shop? How many of you have sons or a man who currently goes to the barbers and know the dreaded feeling of going to that barber shop, right? Going to a barber shop, knowing that you're going to have to be there all day, you're going to have to wait. And now they have those super barbers. If you pay them a little bit extra, you can get seen quicker. And even the quicker is still not quick enough. Right? And so you will have a skill set, and then you want to transition that not just into a business. That's the first step, is transitioning it into a business. The second thing is transitioning it into a business that's going to serve the people that it's determined to serve. And then once you've got a business that can serve the people that your target audience are going to serve, what you then want to do is make sure that your target audience can hear about it. How many of you believe that all these skill sets that we're seeing here, put a yes or no in the chat, if your skill set was seen by more people, you would have more money right now, right? If your skill set was seen by more people, you would have more money right now than you would by less people seeing your business, right? So we can all agree that the more people that see our skill set and are exposed to our skill set, that know what it is that we are doing, is going to help us ultimately to earn more money. Now, put a 7 in the chat if earning more money for you would mean that you could achieve some of your goals. If you have a goal that requires you to have more money, right? So put a 7 in the chat if that makes sense. Because what I want to do is I want to take you on a journey. So far during this health challenge, we've looked at having a healthy mind, which is our healthy mind is affirming all of the things that we desire of our heart. You guys remember that? We spoke about how we get all the stuff that we want, that, you know, really into our heart. Then we spoke about really setting goals and writing down what we want to do and how we want to do it, and make sure that we are in alignment with those goals. Now we're speaking about having a healthy business. And why is it that all of that stuff makes, you know, it makes sense? I've been giving you guys reels about communication. You guys been watching those reels, communication and how to have resilience and how to have determination and all of that kind of stuff. You need all of those skill sets that we've been talking about over the last week, okay, in order to have a solid, profitable, healthy business. Now, if we know that the skill set that we have, now go ahead in the chat and put some 1s in the chat if you believe that the skill set that you have can ultimately help somebody else. Maybe you're good at ironing. Maybe you're good at cleaning. Maybe there could be so many different things that you are good at, right? But that skill set, let me tell you this, because this is where I'm going to help you to really understand exactly when it comes to purpose. Your purpose, okay, is usually linked to something you do naturally and for free. Your purpose is usually linked to something that you do naturally and do free. But let me tell you this, there is no purpose without people. So what we have to do, and we spoke about having a healthy tongue, one of the things that, you know, we say, and I may go into this in a bit more detail, I may go into this in a bit more detail in a moment, actually, because I think it'll be helpful for you. We say these words out of our mouth: I am not a seller. I don't want to sell. Let's be honest. Put a 7 in the chat if you've ever said that or ever felt that, or ever been that person who says, I'm not a people person. I don't want to do sales. I'm not a salesperson. We look at ourselves and we say, I'm not a salesperson. Now I'm going to break it down to you nicely and say this: in order to transition into an entrepreneur, which for me right now is not a nice thing to have, having a side hustle is a necessity in this day and age. How many of you on this call have already seen the price of bread shoot up over the last 2 days? You know, I've been joking about it, saying £2 for bread. That is, as the young people would say, a mad thing, right? So we know right now that having a side hustle is something that is extremely necessary in this day and age. But what we don't know and what we don't seem to realize is that our side hustle is within us. Our side hustle is what we already have. Yes, there's times where we may need to take a course or we may need to upskill ourselves. But usually, guys, you wouldn't believe that your side hustle is actually within the skill sets that you already have. And so what this call is, I want you to, you know, we may have to have a part 2 because I don't think we're going to be able to get through everything here. But I want you to start to think about what are some of the things that you do naturally for free. Some of the things that you enjoy doing that you just do because it's a skill set that you have. Sometimes you don't realize that that skill set can be transitioned into an income stream, right? So first things first is to understand what is the skill set. Now, if, for example, you know, when you want to start a business, there is going to be, you know, some investment that is required. But here's the best part, guys. We live in a world right now where social media has allowed us to connect with millions of people across the world in such a short space of time. And so here's some tips that I want to give you. The first thing you want to do is you want to decide what is the skill set that you really want to develop on. What is that thing that you have that you can really develop on? All right. And I see Chigs right, mentoring. Mentorship is the shortcut to success, right? The next thing you want to do is you want to look for someone who is doing what it is that you desire, and you want to indirectly or directly be mentored by them. So that could be watching their YouTubes, watching their Instagram lives, watching their TikToks, watching how they put themselves out, what they do, their daily habits. And we spoke about habits, healthy habits last week, right? And so you want to start to give yourself an idea of what it takes in order to be successful in that area. So for example, if you bake cakes, you want to see somebody, or that you can see visibly, whether it be online, on the internet or whatever, that is currently doing what it is that you're doing, and see what it is that they are doing externally to promote themselves. You also want to grow a network. Someone type in the chat, network. Networks pay. Regardless of what industry you're in, a network will pay. A network will pay. A network will solve your problems. A network will help you in times of need. A network is something that you want to be able to build. Let me give you an example. How many of you right now are part of a church network, right? When you need prayer, you know that there's someone within that network, that should be, that you can call to get prayer. If there is something that is happening, maybe there's an event taking place at church, 9 times out of 10, there is someone in that church that can cater. Yes or no, right? There's a lady that does the patties. There's someone there that does the fried chicken really well. That you go to that network and you're going to be able to get, there's someone there that's going to be able to dress the table for you and do the decoration, right? A network is going to enable you to get the right trusted resources, okay, that's going to help you in life. Guys, I'll give you an example. A couple of years ago, that my bathroom had a leak. One of the girls left the tap on and the whole place flooded. Inside my network was a plumber. And when I mentioned it inside the group, I didn't even ask for a plumber. He said, Nikki, I'm coming around to your house right now, free of charge. When I even offered to pay him, it was like, Nikki, don't be silly. We're all one family. We're all one crew. And I had my bath fixed for free. And of course I said, listen, I'm going to give you a drink. I'm going to buy you dinner. But that solved an issue for me. Why? Because I did not have to wait for, the insurance. I didn't have to wait for anybody. So having a network is very, very, very important. So think about the networks that you're in. What networks are you a part of? What networks do you own? Right? We are now a part of the Healthy Network that's been created a couple of weeks ago now, where some of us are part of the same business network. Some of us are in, church networks. Some of us are in different communities. I'm part of a netball network, right? So you want to make sure you position yourself to be part of networks. Yes, you want to create a network, but you also want to be a part of networks. Networks have the ability to really help you. And what you don't want to do is you don't want to wait until you have a product before you create a network. You don't want to wait until you have a product before you join a network. You want to be in a network. You want to be in a trusted network. So guess what happens is when you do have that product and the time is right, you can then go ahead and you can then leverage what it is. What if you had to lose your network? How do you rebuild them? Great question. And so giving value is my answer to that, Panama. We want to be in a position where we're constantly giving value. Those of you on this call right now, how many of you paid to be on this call? I do this free of charge. I have found a way that I can use my skill set to give value. And, since I've been doing this now for 4 years, showing up, I can count probably on one hand how many Mondays I've not done, right? Find a way to give value, okay, for free. That's how you create a network, giving value for free. A lot of time people always want to charge for everything, but I tell you this, the power of a network is what's going to enable you to be able to grow your business, grow your side hustle, do whatever it is that you need to do. And I tell you this, it will also save you money. Use my plumber idea. It will save me money. I tell you this, it was part of my network that the person who I connected with done my logo. It was part of my network that the person that I connected with introduced me to someone where I bought my wedding dress. It's part of my network. How many of us know that people talk? So wouldn't it be great? We do things by recommendation anyway, is that if you wanted to do something, buy something or sell something within your network, you have that there available, right? So now keep asking the questions. That's absolutely fine. So now it goes to the question that Panama says is, how do I find my value? How do I know what value I have to give? And it aligns now with the gifting that's on the inside of you. And this is why I think I taught this last week or the week before, where we were talking about, you know, do you guys remember when we were talking about, you know, sometimes we miss our blessing because of 4 reasons. We get it and we hear, but we haven't heard. Do you guys remember that? Right? So we hear it, but we don't really understand it. So we don't do it. And this is the thing. You may not, like, I'll give you an example. I have a gift inside of me that I didn't even spot. And I've been working in my gifts. I've been operating within my gifts for years, but there was a gift that was on the inside of me that I didn't spot. And it was my mentor that pulled that gift out of me. And now I'm working towards that gift. Now, let's make it clear. Just because you have a gift and it's there doesn't mean that you won't require mentorship to help you to translate the gift into how you're able to monetize. Because sometimes what we think the gift is and how much we think the gift actually is worth is 2 different things, to when you actually have a mentor who can help to pull that gift out of you, who can help direct you and say, well, actually, this is your gift and this is where I think you can take it. So mentorship is definitely something that you want to be able to access so that you can really nurture and stir up the gifts on the inside of you. Because a gift on the inside of you not serving any person or people is a dead gift. You want that gift to be working and the gift to be alive. So it's now thinking to yourself, okay, who am I gonna cling towards? Who's the individual that I want to learn from? Who do I want to be mentored by? And, you know, sometimes, guys, the mentorship, you know, the mentorship that you're going to receive is going to spill out in all different areas of your life. So you may think you're going for, you know, income purposes. And what then tends to happen is you find you start becoming more bolder. You become more confident. And that leads into the marketing of this business, because marketing is very, very important. How are you going to market this? Social media allows us all to go on, you know, we can go on different social platforms and begin to post. Okay, those of you taking notes on social media, posting is very good. What are you posting? You could post a live, so you could go live and then post a live. You could then do a reel and you could post a reel. You could post a picture. You could, you know, privately, you know, DM people in the messages. You could put out an open communication to say, hey, look, I'm open for business. Message me if you're interested. Do you know the power of WhatsApp stories? How many of you actually utilize the WhatsApp stories? You put something on your WhatsApp story, you'll be surprised how many people watch that story and message you, right? This is a season now where I believe that everyone needs to have a healthy business. You know, you've got to make sure that you are creative in this season and you're not sitting down on a sleeping gift. Don't sleep on your gift. You've got to wake that gift up and keep that gift alive by being consistent with it. Especially if it's something new. How many of you understand and appreciate that news can take time sometimes, right? So when you're doing something new, it's not going to happen overnight most of the time. Sometimes you may have the overnight anointing, but a lot of the time it's going to take some time. So you got to give yourself permission to let that, you know, let the skill set, you know, do what it needs to do. And you're going to take some time to build up. Do you know, guys, today I had someone message me that I haven't spoken to for 6 years, who said they've been watching me on social media and they want to do business with me. 6 years. 6. It means that you've been, sometimes, you know, your gift and the people that are watching your gift are watching to see how consistent you'll be. They're watching to see if you're going to carry it on. Are you still going to be doing this? Are you still going to be showing up? Are you still going to be consistent? One of the things with my mom, her gift is baking cakes. And, you know, before she just used to bake for, you know, us and family, whatever. And I said to her, Mom, you are wasting your time. Now, I'm just going to be transparent. I absolutely love my mom. Those of you know, my mom is my heart. But her mindset, you know, when we were having this conversation, it bothered me, because I said to her, you know, Mom, you really need to let me do some business cards for you. Let me get a website done for you, because your cakes are the boom. How many of you know, old school, them rum cakes soaked with rum for a long, 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 long time? Now, I'm saying to my mom, hey, what? Now, I tasted Mary's cakes the other day and it tasted it just reminded me of my, my mom's cakes. Mary gave me a slice and I was like, Mary, let me just take this crave real quick because I'm going to sit here and eat the whole thing, right? And my mom's cakes are absolutely amazing, but she wouldn't let me create the business card for her. She wouldn't let me do the website for her. And when I asked her why, she was like, oh, my benefits. And I'm like, homegirl, like, don't tell me that you're not going to launch the gift on the inside of you because you're scared that you're going to lose your benefits. If you lose your benefits, okay, I go to her, if you lose your benefits, I will cover what you lose. Oh, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And sometimes, like my mom's thing could be the benefit, your thing could be something else. Don't make an excuse why you can't do something. Don't tell yourself you don't have time, you don't have money, you don't have this, you don't have that, that is a lack mentality. That's a lack mindset. And in order for us to really grow, we must have a growth mindset, right? So it's very, very important that in order for your business to thrive, and this is your business as a whole, so your home business, your business with your children, your business with your family, your business with your money, in order for all your business to thrive, the first thing you got to do is mind your business, right? Mind your business. Really put your mind on your business. Some people, they're so focused on other people's business that they don't focus on their own business. You got to make sure that you are in total focus on your business. This means you have no time for distractions. This means you have no time for negative self-talk. This means that you want to have accountability. Now, listen to me good. Listen to me very good, because I put a post on my social media I think it was last night. I'm sure I shared it with you guys. I put a post out on my social media talking about the word said around, don't give your pearl to the swine, right? And you guys watched that video? Don't give your pearl to the swine. I sent that out last night for today's homework. Don't give your pearl to the swine. Now, a lot of people are like, what does the pearl to the swine mean? What does it actually mean? It means a pearl is precious. Your pearl is your business. You don't give that precious business to any and anybody. You don't give it to the pigs because the pigs don't know what to do with it. You give a pearl to the swine. What are they going to do with that pearl? What's the pig going to do with a pearl? A pearl that's worth so much money. It's got so much value. It's got so much produce. The pig does not know what to do with it. And so you got to be careful when you now have this business. Remember, it all started with an idea. So when you're talking about it, and we're going to get into the way we talk, okay? But when you're talking about this, you got to make sure that when the way that you speak and who you speak to about your business is very, very important. Because if you put your pearl to the swine don't know what to do with it. And instead they're going to crush it, we're going to trample on it. We're going to mess it up. It's going to make you feel less of. You're going to even lose the value of it because of how the pig's treating with the swine, with the pearl. So you got to be very sensitive to who you are putting the information in front of, who can help to nurture that gift and not destroy it. But at the same time, you want to make sure you have accountability. How many of you know accountability is important? Who's been going to the gym lately? You got a gym sister or a gym brother, you're going to go, you're going to be more excited because you don't want to let the boys down, you don't want to let the crew down. But when you're going by yourself, it's very easy to slip off. It's very easy to drop off. So you want to make sure that in order for your business to thrive, that you have the accountability. Someone who's going to just check in with you and say, okay, how's that going? Oh, I haven't seen you posted today. What's going on for you? I haven't seen you visible on social today. What's going on for you? I'm saying social media because a lot of people run away from social media because of our mouth. We say things like, I don't want to put my business on social media. Guys, let me just be honest. Everyone's business is on social media. I don't mean your personal business. I mean your business, right? We got to watch our mouth. We got to have that healthy tongue when it comes to what we're manifesting over ourselves, and come out of the comfort zone, because we already know the comfort zone is the broke zone. So the tip is we got to be strategic on who we share our business with. We got to be strategic on who we share the strategy and the formula with. Do you know, guys, let me just tell you this. Don't get caught up at the beginning. because your business will evolve, things will change, things will grow. Do you know that Wrigley's chewing gum started off with soap powder? How many of you know that? Wrigley's actually started off with soap powder. They were not chewing gum. They started with soap powder. How many of you know that BMW started off with automobiles, planes? They did not start with cars, right? We hear about KFC and how KFC, guys, let me tell you something about KFC. I only learned this yesterday. And, you know, what happens is there's a formula for the chicken, right? Special formula for the chicken. And how they hold the formula is in 2 separate vaults. Half of the formula is in 1 vault, half of the formula is in another vault. Why? Because they have to protect the formula so that no one can steal the formula and be able to duplicate KFC chicken. And this is a recipe that's gone down for centuries, right? We're talking years. So what does that tell you about having something? You know, you've got to be selective on who you share your business with, but you also have to be versatile on the product and the service. You're going to grow, you're going to evolve, and you want to make sure that you're positioning yourself correctly so that you're able to give the value that's required for you to give. So what is the value that you're going to give? How are you going to connect with people to be able to give them this value? Social media. How else? Talk to me in the chat. Going to events, joining groups. I joined a netball team, guys. I'm also part of the board at my children's school, part of the council. I've made sure that I'm a part of different groups. I've just been added to a Nubian urban group. I'm also part of a Nubian property group. I'm also part of a Black Pound group. I'm part of a ladies group. And some of you, like, oh, there's too many groups. Are you crazy? This is network. Do you understand that your net worth is directly correlated to your net worth? Now, I'm specific with the groups that I'm in and that I'm not in, because it's got to be positive, it's got to be good energy, but we've got to make sure that we are, you know, very, very strategic and intentional about being networkers. Because if you are not networking, you are not making money, because people make business. And you cannot want to be an entrepreneur. You cannot want to have a side hustle if you don't want to network. It just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. That's how you're going to make your sales. That's how you're going to make your money. That's how you're going to build and influence. And John C. Maxwell says the highest paid position in the world is leadership. And what is leadership? Leadership is influence. And so we've got to get stronger at creating influence, being that leader, being that person that can lead and can give value everywhere we go. And so don't assign that with income straight away. Les Brown speaks about it, how he gave away, not Les Brown, Mike Murdoch, not Mike Murdoch, his name's going to come to me in a moment. I'll let you guys see his film. We watched the YouTube. It's not Mike Murdoch. It's not Les Brown. Who's the other guy? Come on, guys. Miles Monroe. There we go. Dr. Miles Monroe. He said it in that clip that we watched. All right. He said it. He gave away his gift for free for years. For years, he gave it away for free. What can you give away for free that ultimately will give you the experience, help you to build the muscle, help you to build the program, help you to provide a service, but also create a network at the same time? Guys, I'm not charging for this service. I haven't charged a penny for the mindset calls that I've done in 4 years, not a penny. But you know, there has been a price that has been paid. You know why? Because people tag me in on their Instagram and share my content. That has enlarged my network, right? The small favor I've asked you guys to do, which is to comment on my YouTube or comment on my, my page, has helped me with my interactions, has helped me, with my credibility. And so I'm not charging, so to speak, a physical payment, but as a law of polarity, okay, not a law of polarity. What's the other law? It may be the law of polarity. There's a law, okay? We'll figure out the law when it comes. And the law says that reciprocity, there we go, it came to me, reciprocity. The law of reciprocity, you guys know what that is. Oh, Violet, you typed it in the chat as well. That law means that you cannot give, okay, you can't give consistently for free and not get back. It's impossible. It's absolutely impossible. You may say to yourself, oh, I'm giving to these people, they keep on taking, I'm giving to these people, I'm giving to. No. There's no such thing. It doesn't work. They are giving something back. Something has to come back. And let me tell you this, it's not always going to be the same place you give that it comes back. It's going to come back in different areas. It's going to come back in different places. It's going to come back from different. So you don't get attached to, you know, when I give here, I think it's going to come here. No. How about this? One of you will have a conversation with somebody away from this, and you will say, you know, I was part of a health challenge and I learned about this thing. And so, oh, who taught you that? Oh, a lady called Nikki Sutherland. Okay, cool. What's her Instagram? Boom. You've now shared my platform. Indirectly, directly, I've now benefited from me giving you guys something for free. And the more you give and the more people you give to, guess what happens, guys? Eventually, what you gave away for free, you start getting paid tenfold, 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 tenfold. And so and your consistency is what pays you. Because the people that are coming to me now from 6 years ago, it's because they've been watching me and saying, Nikki, I've been seeing you show up for the last 6 years. I've been seeing you show up for, what would somebody say about your consistency? Now, here's the thing, consistency, I'm talking visible consistency. It's pointless you going to the gym every day, no one seeing you, no one knowing you go to the gym. You ain't going to be recommended for someone to bring you to the gym or bring them to the gym because no one knows you're going to the gym. So how are you recording your consistency? Social media is the easiest way to be able to brand yourself so people can see your consistency over time. How many of you, your skill sets are hidden? How many of you have been cooking every single day? You're cooking dinner for the family. Couldn't you just do a little quick boomerang and show people that, hey, look, this is what we're eating today? Do you know that somebody could pay you for that? But because you're doing it because you just think it's just a routine, it's nothing. No, this is your brand. This is you. How many of you walk the dog every day? You don't even know that somebody might need to, you know, somebody needs you to walk their dog. You could actually get a contract and you don't even know. Why? Because you're not recording that you're doing these things. So you may think to yourself, oh, Nikki, I don't know my skill. I don't do. You're doing your skill every day, but you're just not recording it. And maybe you haven't got the fine tuning of it yet to really understand how it expands into a business. But guess what, ladies and gentlemen, this is why personal development is very, very important. I want you to all write on this piece of paper that you have in front of you, what is my personal development plan? Now, I've put you on a personal development plan the last 7 days, but I want you to ask yourself, what is your personal development plan? And those of you on this call that's not a part of the Health Challenge, the Health Challenge is a free coaching community that I've opened up, guys. And we've really set some goals and to be focused, starting off this month, please join it. It's free of charge, nothing to pay, and it's all accountability, everything to gain. Okay, there's no sales in there. It's straight focus, consistency, and accountability, right? And so you're inside this chat and we're going through the mindset. We're going through the work. We're doing the physical work. We're making sure we're building confidence in ourselves. We're seeing what's possible. We're speaking our affirmations. We've got our goals. We've got our pictures, right? We started to create that vision environment as opposed to just a vision board. And now we're building up ourselves to say, hey, look, I am powerful enough to create my side hustle. I'm powerful enough to sell something online. Now, here's another tip for you guys. If the thing that you think, if the thing that you think you're designed to do right now is going to be costly and there is, a heavy financial attachment to it, and you don't want to downgrade what it is that you're doing because of the financial attachment to it, you can actually buy a business in a box. How many of you know that? You can buy a business in a box. What do I mean by that? I mean, do you know that there is different business models that will enable you to buy into their business, you sell their products, and you get paid a commission every time you make that sale. So for example, how many of you use this website? I'm gonna blow your mind with this right now. Some of you listen, I tell you this, the things that's happening right in front of us, sometimes we don't even know. I'm gonna share my screen with you guys, right? Give me a thumbs up when you can see my screen. And then I'm gonna set some homework and we're gonna wrap up. How many of you have seen this site? Spent on this site? Put a 777 in the chat if you have ever spent on this site. Boom. You spent on this site. Excellent. Everybody has. Now, how many of you recommended a product on this site? Put a 6, no, not a 6. Put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you've ever recommended a product to a friend. We did a hen do once and we went crazy. We spent thousands on here, right? I just recommended an alarm, doorbell that we bought. So many recommendations, right? Now, how many of you got paid for that recommendation? Because a lot of people don't read the fine print. So I'm bringing you right down to the bottom of this site, Amazon. What does it say here? Can you guys see this? Associates program. Now, the associates program pays you for your recommendations. How many of you didn't know that? Right? This stuff is right here in front of us, guys. How do you think? Do you know that the way that this company has become a $1 billion brand is not because it's made all the sales, it's its associates program. That's how it's become a $1 billion brand. How many other, programs that you're using every day? I'm not even talking about the ones you don't know about, right? I'm talking about, the things that you're using every single day. Okay, I make this joke when I'm doing the business calls. I say, who's got an iPhone and who has shares in Apple, right? Because the stuff that we're using every single day has the ability to pay us, but we don't actually tap into it because what? Maybe we don't know about it, or we're used to being consumers. No one taught us about this stuff. And this is why it's important to be part of what? A network, a community, so that you're forever growing your knowledge, so that you're forever getting information about what you can potentially do in order to be able to leverage the skill sets you have to be able to create an income stream. What other benefits do you have from a network, guys? How many of you know, like I'm in a network today and I said, guys, I think it's time for a women empowerment. I used to do in women empowerment sessions. We used to do these seminars once a year before the pandemic. And I said, right, it's time to bring them back. How many of you ladies would attend one of those seminars, right? Put a 7 in the chat if you would attend. Now, this is powerful stuff. I'm talking healing, deliverance, affirmations. We're doing the whole lot. The last ones we did, we had tears. We had people on the floor, like transformation, right? And so here, look. I'm now on a call with a network and I'm telling you about something that I'm planning to do in the future, right? Can you guys see how this stuff works? All right. I didn't even plan to say that, but I'm pulling things out to be able to show you what the power of a network is. Okay. I've literally gone through this system, guys, with a blueprint. I've gone through with a fine-tooth comb. I'm like, looking at the successful people, what they did is they built a network. And then they sold to that network. They built a network, and then their network was then the ones that were, celebrating them. Let me tell you this, anybody a part of our network now knows that Michelle has a Taji hair care, right? Yes or yes, because every time I talk about her, I say, Michelle, CEO of Ataji Hair Care. So if you have natural hair and you want products for natural hair, guess what? Michelle is the person to go to. Why? Because she's part of the network and I know what she does, I can now leverage Michelle's business. I'm not getting any money from it, right? I'm not an affiliate in her business. I'm not making any money, but I know that Michelle is doing this and it's a way that I can give value to her for being part of the network, right? This is the power of a network, right? Very, very important. Now, you've got to be mindful as well. So I'm a part of some new networks. I've joined some networks. I'm not going to go in there and start telling them the 2 networks that I've joined in the last 3 months don't know what I do. because I haven't earned that right yet to start going in there selling. I have to feed them first. I have to give free value first. I have to show up for what that network is for first, before I start selling in that network and making a gain from something I haven't deposited into. Does that make sense? So I've got to give value before I start taking. So you don't just go into a network because you intentionally want to make money. You're going into a network to provide value. Okay, you're going in, you're going to provide value, you're going to do whatever that network is. You know, I've got a couple of events to attend next week, part of these networks. Do I want to go, guys? Probably not. Probably I prefer to stay in my bed, but I'm making an intention. I'm being intentional about attending these events, about putting myself in the environment around individuals, around a network that I know is going to pay dividends years down the line. Does that make sense? How many of you are going to events or saying you're tired? Going to an event that's going to create that dividends or that, you know, that compounded effect of results. So now this is moving into being intentional. How is your business going to be healthy? You got to be intentional with showing up. You got to be intentional about being in these groups. Don't take yourself out of groups. That's a network. Imagine every person equals dollars, equals pounds. You're going to want to be in that group. You're going to want to be surrounded by those people, especially if they're intentional, especially if they're business-minded or like-minded. You want to make sure that you're inside a network. So we've got mentorship. We've got network, we've got knowing what our skill sets are and really understanding how we're going to transition ourselves as a social, you know, being present on social media. How far you take that, that's up to you guys. But I'll tell you this, the future is powerful. In fact, I'm going to send a video to the network for you guys to see exactly what's coming with some of this AI stuff. That I saw something and I just shook I couldn't believe it. Now, whether we want to argue to say it's right or it's wrong, it's happening. They're doing robots to take over people. You're seeing jobs being taken away. You're seeing so much stuff happening. If you don't make yourself relevant, years to come, we're going to be in problems, put it that way. So I'm going to part of the homework, I'm going to share a video with you guys to show you exactly what's coming in the future. And when I started watching this, I was really, really surprised. Like, I'm not going to lie, I was like, wow. And I want your feedback inside the network as well. Once I drop it in and you watch that video, part of the homework is going to be watching that clip. I tell you, the clip is going to blow your mind. It's going to really tell you that you've got to get into, you know, in position. Now, this is going way advanced now, but this is going into, like, you know, virtual reality world and how, you know, the AI is taking over and how we got to make sure that we're setting up offices in the metaverse and all of this type of, you know, futuristic stuff. Now, one of the things for me is I started to learn about the metaverse. I'm buying land, housing inside the metaverse. I'm getting my position in the metaverse. I want to start doing these coaching sessions. I will be doing these coaching sessions inside the metaverse by next year, right? So I'm getting ahead of the game. I want to be one of the first coaches to be doing calls inside the metaverse, right? I'm going to be charging big money for it as well. Because people, anything new, if you get yourself into an early adoption type situation, guess what happens? Now you become even more valuable. Now you're going to get booked. Now I'm going to be booked by schools and other places and social places to come and teach about virtual reality world. This is just a tip from me to you. You want to learn it too. You want to know exactly how you can adopt this new technology that's coming forward. But that's advanced stuff. That's next level stuff. But you see, the earlier you position yourself, the better it is for you when it comes to really planting your seeds inside this thing. So I hope today's been, have you guys learned something today? Have you been inspired? So next week, I'm going to do part 2, and I'm going to go into the psychology of why people buy. Would that be something you guys want to know about? I've studied this when I was in the bank, and you know, it's very, very powerful. And I've been reading a few books about why people buy, the psychology of buying, and how to really sell a product and how to really tap in. There's been so many different theories and stuff like that, but I'm going to give you guys real solid stuff next week on how, you know, real step by step, why people buy, how they're going to buy, and some strategies. I've gone through some strategies with my previous networks before. So if you've been a part of any of those, you would have heard the strategies. But the stuff I'm doing now, this is why it's important to keep growing and learning. because I'm never going to be the same because I'm growing every day. So when I speak to you today, guys, maybe you heard me teach strategy last year. I was looking at one of my social media trainings on YouTube that I taught last year, but guess what? Reels weren't out then. TikTok weren't really buzzing then. So even last year's social media training isn't even relevant anymore. And I'm like, oh God, I got to do a new one. So the week after, maybe, actually, if you're inside my community, I'm going to do that social media because that is high level. You should be paying for that. But if you're inside that's the book, Dr. Marcia, I did refer to that book, Why They Buy, right? And so if you're inside the community, okay, I will be doing a social media training on Tuesday. This is the health and wealth community. But if you're in the healthy challenge, come back here next week and I'm going to be doing just the principles, okay? The principles of, buying and the strategy. These strategies are going to blow your mind. And they don't just work for business. They work also for relationships. They work for partnerships. They work for your children. They're strategies that are, they're global. And then I'll mix it up with a little bit of, the psychology behind why people buy as well next week. But for those of you inside the health and wealth community, on Tuesday, thank you, Dr. Marcia, tomorrow's Tuesday, isn't it? Tomorrow, I'm going to do the social media training with you guys. It's going to blow your mind. It's going to be the new and up-to-date training for social media. This, game over, absolute game over. But for those of you that are not part of that community, I'm going to be here, of course, next week. But let's get to the health challenge, guys. It is indeed week 2. Okay, this is normally where people get tired and start lacking off. We're not getting tired, guys. We're only just starting. We're going to keep doing our exercises. You still have a few hours. If you haven't done yours so far today, get it done, make it happen. We are not quitters. We've got the mindset. We've got a healthy mind, healthy tongue, and now a healthy business. And part 2 of the healthy business next week, we're going to make sure we deep into, why people buy and also the psychology behind the buying. Okay, so take your screenshots, your boomerangs, whatever it is you want to do.